After getting very interesting information from Joshua, we have Urmika with us, and she is going to tell us about her life as a student at SMU.
So, Urmika, tell us about your background, journey, and then obviously the SMU story and how it all works for you.
So I actually started my career in law. I
Wow.
went to a national law school in India. And, that's in itself 5 years of studying. So, yeah, I started my career in law. And as you know, that, law school in India is about 5 years for the BA LLB honors program. After that, I moved into working at law firms. So my background has essentially been in mergers and acquisitions, private equity, and venture capital,
Wow.
but in the capacity of a lawyer.
Right.
So for me, I always kind of looked at businesses through a lens of strategy. And that is why I wanted to move out from the legal, like a pure play legal role into a more strategic kind of a role. So thereafter, I moved into advisory, fundraising, and consulting, where I set up my own, boutique agency where we were working with clients on the business side. Because as a lawyer, I dealt with companies from the fund representation side. And side by side, I also ran a D2C business in the feminine hygiene care space. So all of these exercises kind of, they were experiments that piqued my interest towards business and strategy from a more, wanting to learn it from a more structured and theoretical lens. So that is when I decided to, I naturally wanted to do a master's, and I wanted to do something apart from just knowing, legal education. So, which is where I kind of decided on pursuing my MBA.
Wow, very interesting. You are speaking about startup. You're speaking about working. So, working about 20 hours a day, I'm assuming, in a given day.
Yeah, you can say that. Because
Wow.
when you are running your own business, you kind of start so as a lawyer as well, your life is any which way is pretty hectic. So you carry that kind of a work ethic into, when you're running your own thing. Of course, the stress levels might be a little different, but, the problems that you're taking on are different. But yeah, you're just putting yourself into that passion. So I think moving towards the MBA as well, the one question that a lot of people ask is, in terms of the workload. So in terms of this, it's again, it's a program that's designed, especially at SMU, the program is designed in such a way that you can either really immerse yourself into it. You have access to facilities, libraries, faculty, professors, a lot of content in the curriculum that is constantly given out. And each subject that you take is about 8 weeks long. So it's not too much. But at the same time, having the work experience in the real world has kind of taught you how to time manage yourself and delve deeper into a subject from, various angles.
And you're graduated, you're graduating?
So I am just maybe 3 weeks short of graduating.
Wow, many
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. And what do you see as your next step, next leg?
So in terms of my next steps, again, like I said, that the reason I did my MBA was to create a more structured form of thinking in terms of business and strategy, because I do come from a background where I've had M&A, PE, VC experience.
Right.
And I think going forward, I kind of want to marry into all of these. And then, of course, the landscape that we live in right now with AI really changing the consulting game or the PVC game. I think the idea is to move towards a more mid to senior level position where you can genuinely, create value in terms of the conversations or in terms of the negotiations that you conduct with businesses. And that's where I see myself positioning.
Wow.
Yeah.
So coming back to your SMU experience, tell us a little more about living there as a student, about the food, about the campus life, everything.
Right. So, so when I moved to Singapore for, the full-time MBA program, of course, I had visited Singapore before, as most Indians do.
Right.
You end up having some relative or you end up, just visiting for work. So I was actually fortunate enough to visit for pleasure and for work. So, when I moved, completely, I think it all began with, looking for a place to stay at, figuring out your food options, whether you're a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian. So these things also, they play into your daily student life quite a bit. But I think that everything was very easy because Singapore is extremely structured. It's not that difficult to, find your way around or navigate your way around as a student. And then plus SMU is in the heart of the city. So wherever you are, you're just pretty much a stone's throw away from, reaching school. Public transport is very efficient. Food and, transport are fairly reasonable. Even the cost of living might be a little higher, obviously, from Indian standards, but it's doable. And I think as a student, I end up spending most of my time, of course, like in the university and being part of the full-time MBA program. I mean, that's what you also kind of want to make your number one priority.
Right.
So as a student, of course, in the MBA program, we have 4-hour-long lectures. So, that kind of takes up a significant chunk of your day, because before and after the classes, you also have, you need to go through your cases, you need to be in the library, you need to figure out what's happening. There's a lot of group work. So you're constantly coordinating with different kinds of people for different subjects. There's individual assignments all the time. So it's pretty packed. And it's very hectic. And then the little time that you get, you want to socialize with your cohort. Because, of course, MBA, as we know, it's essentially, yes, there's a lot of learning. But I think one of the main learnings is networking.
Absolutely.
Which we really underestimate. But I think also being in Singapore has, it teaches you many different kinds of networking, which having spent most of my academic and working career in India, I wasn't really aware of the cultural nuances that you see in the APAC region. But herein, again, just that whole idea of building relationships with people rather than like just running after an outcome of like, hey, can I get an internship? Can I get a job?
Yeah.
But you start really playing the long game when you start meeting people with, that heavy experience behind them. And you start realizing that I genuinely want to have a coffee chat with you to get to know what your, trajectory has been like, or what is it that brought you here. And I think people really start believing in things like, instead of just applying for a job, am I really, do I hold the right fit for the culture that this entire environment entails, or the kind of work that it's going to make me do? So you start thinking along those lines. Because I do believe that, ultimately in life, whoever has to fit in for whatever job that's going to happen,
right.
It's a matter of like, I think after you pursue a master's, after a significant amount of work experience, you really want to find the right fit to be able to apply yourself in a more strategic manner.
I think that answers the question for us. All the very best with your graduation. A successful lawyer, worked in the VC, looking at the next leap within the fantastic corporate world. I think you are really, really set to do big things. All the very best.
Thank you so much for your kind words.